So what I'm gonna do, I already started out my strand here, okay, but I will show you and give you a good tutorial on the wire guardians on when we finish it off. Never fear. So I am gonna do the exact same pattern, but what I'm gonna do when I put them together is I'm gonna flip them, right? So then they're gonna be like these guys will end up being kind of a little bit off center. And then I'll have all my little baby spacers here and then no spacer here. So I'm going to do the exact same pattern, but when we put them together, I'm going to flip them the opposite direction. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy my pattern onto this strand here. So I've got my wire guardian, I've got my crimp, got it all started out there. And so I'll go ahead and feed on my spacer and then my 2 11-ohs and then my 2 pretty glass yellow and blue 8-ohs. And then the only thing that's different is this. No, I guess if I flip it, it'll be, yeah, because I want everything on the opposite side. So you're only getting 2 of these. I just think they look kind of cool on the end. And it's kind of like, again, kind of like an asymmetrical. And then you can have a lot of fun with your design. That's for sure. Make this your own. And then I'm going to do exactly what I already did over there, which is do a little spacer in between each of my rondelles. So this kit, guys, is very rondelle heavy, as you can tell. It's just gorgeous. Just absolutely beautiful. Lots and lots and lots of rondelles. We really only have 2 beads, and it's this one and that one. The rest are all pretty much rondelles, well, besides our seed beads. So you can't get any better than that. So it's just a stunning, stunning bracelet. I love these as well. This color, this sorry, I had to get a drink, is called Royal Blue, but it's such a, it's transparent, so it's a very light royal blue. It's not a dark royal blue. It's so pretty. And then also, as you can see, what I've done here is I put those pretty yellow barrel beads right next to the oblong. So I think that kind of suits that well. And in fact, I might even just flip it the other way. And I'll do, instead of doing the barrel bead and then the seed bead, I think I'll do the seed bead and then the barrel bead. I'll keep everything else in line the same. And then my bead cone. This gorgeous bead. Oh. I'm telling you guys, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not pulling any funny business. You guys are so lucky if you pick up this kit to get these beads because they are so unique and gorgeous. I almost guarantee you you'll never see anybody else with anything on like that, you know, by chance, because they have been literally in my stash for probably, I'm telling you, at least 12 years. At least 12 years. So, you know, I had quite a few. I have several necklaces in my personal stash with those beads. I just love them. I always get so many compliments. But this is, again, one of those that are, you know, styles that are coming together that is just really unique, you guys. It's like a one-of-a-kind. It really can't be duplicated because of the fact that those beads and these here, these seed beads, also totally out of circulation. So, you know, I love that, you know, when we really get into our one-of-a-kinds. Just makes me happy. Isn't it just like the coolest thing though? You know, when you know you're wearing something that is so beautiful and you'll never see anybody else wearing because it's a one of a kind. I think it's pretty cool. So as you can see, I pretty much duplicated my pattern other than I just flipped these two little guys here, my little barrel and my seed bead. But when I flip them around, when I put them together, you see what I mean? How cool that's gonna look. That's gonna be super cool. So guys, when we're finishing off for our pro finish with a wire guardian, what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and let's feed on your crimp, okay? Then you're gonna grab your wire guardian, and your wire guardian looks like a horseshoe, okay? There is the horseshoe portion up on the top, which has a divot in it, and that's where our wire lies to protect our wire from wear and tear as it's moving around the jump ring or the clasp. And then on the bottom of the wire guardian, there are two little barrels, and that's where we feed our wire. So we put our crimp on. Now what we're going to do is we take the wire and we're going to feed it up one of the barrels, just like that, okay? So that's what you have. And then we're going to take and grab the wire, pull it up and over the horseshoe and down the barrel on the other side, just like this, okay? And don't worry about this being like this. We'll tighten it up in a minute, okay? And so let me just hold it there. And so this is what you'll have, okay? And so as you can see, the wire rests in the divot of the horseshoe. And so now we have our tail. And don't worry about it, you know, flopping around and being loose right now. That's normal until we tighten it up. And then in order to tighten it up, what we're going to do is grab this tail. We're going to put it through our crimp, and on this style, we're going to feed the tail through that silver spacer because it's got a nice hole. We can certainly fit it through that. Okay, we'll grab our tail now, and we'll also grab our wire guardian. And we're going to pull just a little bit, about that much, okay? And now what we're going to do is we will squeeze the wire guardian together, okay? And now this is where you want to check over here to make sure you're nice and flush. And then we'll lay it down and we'll put it in a little bit of a circular motion. Just make sure it's not straight, okay, to tighten it up. And this is how and then we'll continue to pull the tail. And this is how we ensure that we'll have the movement we want in our end product here. In our end, when we finish our bracelet, we want it to be nice and, you know, flexible, right? So when we finish and pull like that, excuse me, we don't do it flat, we do it with a bit of a curve, okay? And I pulled the tail, and now this is what you have, okay? So you see how now we're all nice and tight. The wire guard is right where it needs to be. And I'm just gonna grab my chain nose, and I am going to put that over my crimp, and then I'll pull my wire guardian up a little to ensure that I'm not squeezing my wire guardian. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just give that crimp a smush. These #1 crimps. You can use chain nose or your crimpers. They work either way, the ones that are included in the kit. And we'll go ahead and cut the extra. I'm gonna flush cut that. And now we will put it together. So in order to do that, guys, you just grab your chain nose and bent nose, flat nose, whatever you got, 2 pairs of pliers. Open up your jump rings. I've already opened up mine, okay? And we're gonna feed on our strands, and just feed them on however you want, okay? And whatever desired pattern you have. For me, I had specifically wanted to make sure that they were opposite of each other. So this one has the spacers and this doesn't, so this is right. So I'll feed on this one, and then I'll feed on this one. Okay, and then I'll put my clasp on. And we'll close up our jump ring. Let's make sure we close it up nice and snug, guys. Nice and flush, perfect right there, okay? And now, when we finish it off, all we wanna do is just make sure that, you know, they're not like this, okay? That they're lopsided over. You wanna just make sure that your bracelets are straight when you are adding your jump ring on the other side. That's an important little step here. Just make sure that they're not kind of like that. And then, you know, unless you want to intentionally twist them, which, by the way, you can certainly do that. If you want to twist your bracelet, that's a whole nother look. You can absolutely do that. It's a gorgeous look. Okay. So there's another little tipsy things just come to me as I'm talking. But in my case, I'm going to make sure that my wire guardians are laying flat here and open up my other jump ring, which I already did. And then I will feed on my strands in the order, same order that they are laying flat there. And then I'll grab my other side of my clasp. Or I can just bring it up. Either way is gonna work. And we'll feed that on and close up our jump ring. And we'll just make sure that that is nice and secure where you feel them touching. Perfection. And we're all done. And that is one way to make the oceanic sunrise bracelet. Isn't that just stunning? And look at how cool that is by doing the exact same design, but attaching it, flipping it. It's so cool. I